The first thing we're going to see come out is the aortic arch.
Hold on, could you repeat that, sir?
So coming out of the heart, we have the aortic arch. It's that nice U-turn we have there. And then it's going to form the descending aorta, which is this nice big guy that you see coming all the way down with all these other arteries coming off of them. So we'll start with the phrenic artery, which is going to go to the diaphragm. If you can't, so coming down here, the first one you see come off is the right here, phrenic artery. It's fairly obvious in this, but in your rats, it might be easier to find the organ associated, find the phrenic artery, and then trace it back to the dorsal aorta, or descending aorta.
So if you pin it, would you pin it closer to the descending aorta, or would you pin it closer to the organ?
Most likely it'll be pinned closer to the organ, unless it's an obvious one, like up here. So, phrenic artery, and also coming out of the same area and going through dorsal, so it's kind of hard to see there, but it's going to split off and come to the adrenal artery. So the adrenal gland is located right above the kidney, this red mass that you see. So you can see a adrenal artery right here. Don't confuse that with the renal artery coming into the kidney, but we'll get there in a second. Continue down, the next one you're going to find is the celiac artery, which this one will be pinned close to the descending aorta if it is, because it only spans out to here. This is all celiac artery, and it's going to split into three different ones. The first one is the gastric artery, comes right up here to the stomach. The second one is going to be the splenic artery, which if you take your spleen and trace that back, your splenic artery is where all three of these branches are going to meet back up, somewhere in this clump. You can actually see it coming off the celiac artery right here. And the hepatic artery is fairly hard to find because it goes behind the stomach up here to here. So if we pin that one, we will pin it right here at the base of the liver.
Which would that one be again?
This is the hepatic artery.
Hepatic artery.
So any of these red lines inside of the liver, we'd pin that for the hepatic artery.
That's part of the three from the celiac, right?
That's coming off the celiac, yeah.
Okay.
So continuing down, you'll see you have your renal artery on your left side. On your right side is a little bit higher than on the left side. So your left renal artery is right here, and about equal with that is going to be your cranial mesenteric artery, which is going to the intestines and all the mesentery associated with it. So you see that. And the renal artery for the right side of the body is above that one. It's right there. You can trace it off of the center of the kidney, center medial side of the kidney. Continuing down the descending aorta, next we have our testicular artery right here. It's going to turn into the pampiniform plexus where it coils with the veins. So you can follow that back to the descending aorta and find that it is just below the renal artery. So that's your testicular artery. Next, two horizontally running ones are going to be they're perpendicular to the descending aorta, the circumflex iliacs. You will see that these do not necessarily need to be directly horizontal with each other. The left one in this rat is a little bit higher than the right one, but they're fairly clear because they're running with the dorsal body wall, just in horizontal positions. And at the very base, we're going to have three more arteries. The two that develop this V are going to be the common iliac arteries, and right underneath the center of that V, running into the body wall, is your median sacral artery. It's right there. Now back up here at the heart, starting on the left side, the very left side of the aortic arch, the first one you'll have is the subclavian artery. It's going to run into the body wall, as you see right there. Next will be your left common carotid artery. And on the right side, we have the brachiocephalic trunk, which goes to right there, just that little region. where it splits off for the first time with your right common carotid artery, and the next left segment is going to be the subclavian artery, which has various arteries branching off of it. So after this branch, this is subclavian, coming all the way up to right here, with all these branching off of it. 3 are going to branch off pretty quick. You'll have your internal thoracic and your costal cervical artery going posterior. So your internal thoracic's pretty easy, it goes directly into the wall. And underneath that one, running more posterior dorsally, is your costal cervical artery. It's right in here. And then your vertebral artery is right here, running more anterior dorsally than the last two. So you follow your subclavian up, you'll see this next split, which one of them is going to be your superficial cervical artery. That'll be this one. And your third branch artery is your auxiliary artery, which is right here. The auxiliary is going to branch into 3 different things. You're only responsible for 2 of them. The one going that's broken right here, you can see it's headed to the arm. That's your brachial artery. And the one coming into the body wall is your lateral thoracic artery. Now, as far as these terms we have written down right here, the pulmonary veins and pulmonary arteries, remember, those are stained opposite as the rest of them. So the red ones right here are going to be your pulmonary veins, and the blue ones will be your pulmonary arteries. You also have your coronary arteries and cardiac veins. Coronary arteries are going to be these red guys running through the heart, and the cardiac veins will be this blue system that you see. And the intercostal arteries and veins are associated with the rib cage. The red ones are the arteries and the blue ones are the veins. So intercostal arteries and veins. You guys have any questions? You want to see anything again?
Can you show the one in the female?
The ovarian.
Ovarian.
Yeah. So, where's your ovary in the female rat again?
Here.
In what structure?
The oviduct.
So, above the oviduct in the ovarian bursae, right? So if you follow your oviduct up, it will be the one running into the ovarian bursae up here. So this guy. Again, right along with the ovarian vein, which does not form the pampiniform plexus. So that's a very good distinguisher of that. It's going to be right next to a giant vein.